What's up, YouTube universe? Eric here. I'm joined with Jeff, and we're going to make our Week 6 predictions, kicking off with Thursday Night Football. New York Giants traveling to Chicago to face the Bears.
Ass whooping. Ass whooping.
Oh, the Giants are going to whoop that ass?
They're going to get that ass whooped. I don't see any hope for that team. Eli Manning looks like he's dead. It looks like somebody killed his dog, kidnapped his children. I mean, he's thrown 12 picks?
It's
As
terrible.
a team, they've got 20 turnovers. 20.
It's insane. It's insane. They have as many turnovers as Peyton Manning has touchdowns.
That's just horrible.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
They just don't have any defense. I mean, if I wasn't a Dallas Cowboys fan, I'd almost feel bad for them, but fuck them.
I just don't understand what's going on with the team because they have a lot of the same pieces in place as they have in their Super Bowl years, or as they had in their Super Bowl years.
Someone that's gotten older. Human Yours gone. You know, what's his name? Pierre Paul has been kind of hobbled. Their secondary has been decimated, and you know, like some of the throws that Manning was getting away with, or he's short arming them now, they're getting picked off. So he's throwing a couple balls in the center field. Like I just don't even know what's going on with him. Maybe he's just getting whooped so bad that I don't know. He's throwing balls in the dirt, getting called for
I can tell you
intentional
what,
grounding.
That I don't know if it's the New York Giants regressing or if the rest of the NFC East has gotten better. But if the Cowboys don't win this division, I'll shit.
Oh God, yeah.
They gave the Broncos everything they can handle last week, and
but they can't stop nobody. I mean, they got 51 put on them, and you know.
Well, look at the other offenses in the
Rivers.
NFC East. What do you got to stop?
Well, you don't have to beat just them. I mean, yeah, they should win that division, and we'll see how they handle the Redskins Sunday night. I'm not really that worried about it, but the Redskins have had a week to think about things. So, this game here that's Chicago all the way. I don't see how the Giants have a chance.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Chicago wins that game handily.
I wanted to see some fight in them, you know, last week against the Chiefs. If I thought they were going to come out and do something, you know, they'd come out and punch the Chiefs in the mouth.
Yeah.
Because the Chiefs' offense is vulnerable. Their defense isn't necessarily vulnerable. The offense is vulnerable. And
that defense appears to be legit.
Yeah, but the Chiefs put, 31 on them?
Yeah.
And the Chiefs' offense really doesn't put 31 on people.
Well, they've actually averaged right around that this year. They've scored over 30
From the
points.
defense, though. Defensive touchdown. I'm talking about the offense. They have no fight left in them. He might have lost the locker room. I don't know how you do that, but
yeah. Well, I don't know.
2 years ago, that was a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, I would hate to think that Tom Coughlin's on the hot seat. It's strange to say that, but maybe he is.
I don't think he's on the hot seat, but he might retire after this. He is the oldest coach in the NFL.
Yeah,
you know, he might not be hip to rebuilding.
Yeah, he's stressed.
And he's
to
got
the max.
He's got a rebuilding going on, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah. Okay, so next game up, you've got Green Bay headed to Baltimore.
Boy, both of these teams have kind of a Jekyll and Hyde. A lot of teams have that this year, it seems like. Green Bay doesn't have much of an offensive line. They cannot run the ball. Although Eddie Lacy had, 100 all-purpose yards. They were, fairly stout on offense last week, but still, I don't see Baltimore having a very good offense either. And Clay Matthews is out. I don't know. This game could go weird.
Well, I think Green Bay's going to win this game because the Aaron Rodgers factor. I called it last week. I'm calling it this week. As long as you got number 12 under center there in Green Bay, you've got a chance to win. And if Baltimore gets stupid again and doesn't feed Ray Rice the ball, then feed Ray Rice the ball, then feed Ray Rice the ball, they got no chance. They did last week, and guess what? They look good. Ray Rice had a good game. But I got Green Bay in this one.
I'm taking Green Bay too. I'm not a believer in Baltimore. Even though they're home, I'm going to take Green Bay because I think they're out to prove something. So
I'm actually going to take Green Bay because James Jones ripped off the Tina Turner touchdown dance.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
All right, next game up, you've got Cincinnati traveling to Buffalo,
and Buffalo's playing Thaddeus Lewis. I guess he played for the Browns and started a game last year.
I've never heard of the guy, and I
Or he started a game in the preseason and he got cut. And he's not a rookie, from what I understand. And I guess he's a mobile quarterback, but he's had no practice. He's been on the practice squad. He's got no reps. And Cincinnati's got the nastiest defense in town.
Oh,
they
man.
shut Tom Brady down. How's this guy going to perform against them?
They not only shut Tom Brady down, but they ruined a potential record for him.
Well, he probably would have had no trouble breaking that record.
Mm-hmm.
But he ran into a buzzsaw. They didn't cross the 50-yard line until well into the third quarter.
It was raining like a some bitch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Their defense is for real, and I don't see how this unproven, unpracticed, I still see how he's going to get anything against them.
I don't either.
If they break out with a huge running game, then maybe they got something, or ball control or something. If Spiller and Jackson, just they run them, and it's successful, then maybe.
I think you got way too much defense versus way too little quarterback, so I got Cincinnati.
Yeah, I've got Cincinnati too.
Okay, next game up. This is an intriguing game. You got all offense versus all defense, and Detroit headed to Cleveland.
Yeah, Detroit's got some defense. I mean, they went in and put one on the Bears.
The Packers scored all over them.
Yeah, the Packers did score all of them, but the Bears, they beat the Bears at home. Cleveland's on that 3-game roll. I'm not a believer yet. I'm a believer in Cleveland's defense.
I mean, is the loss of Brandon Hoyer that big a deal? I mean, is it that big a deal?
Well, no, it's not like they lost, Aaron Rodgers style quarterback, but
the team seemed to rally around that kid.
Minnesota put 27, 31 points on him, I think. And Minnesota's not that good because Adrian Peterson didn't have that good of a game. So that was Ponder and Simpson and some other cast of characters.
That was Matt Castle, was it not?
No, not against Cleveland.
Oh, that's right. That was before Ponder got hurt. I think Matt Castle's doing well in that.
It might have been half Ponder, half Castle.
Yeah, but as far as this game goes, I'm going to take Detroit just because I think they have enough defense and they got a ton of offense.
Yeah, I'm going to take Detroit too. And Cleveland's got a for real defense. There's no doubt that Joe Hayden's playing his eyes out, but I think the combination of Reggie Bush and Joik Bell and Megatron, I'm hoping Megatron will go. I just think it might be too much. We'll see.
Interesting game later on in the season. You got Cleveland heading to Kansas City.
Stafford's a way better quarterback than Dalton or any of these other clowns that he's been.
Yeah, all day, all night. So I got Detroit in that one. Next game up, you've got St. Louis headed to Houston. Now, at a glance, you think Houston in a route, but Matt Schaub's got people showing up at his house to yell at him about his play.
Matt Schaub is playing dead. I mean, God, how do you lose your mojo so bad?
And so quickly.
4 games in a row with a pick 6. That's like a record. He's lost the confidence of at least the home crowd.
Well, you've got maybe the best running attack tandem in the entire NFL in Arian Foster and Ben Tate.
Yeah, they were playing San Francisco, and then you don't really run too much against them, and they were playing, Seattle, and you don't really run too much against them, and so it's had to be up to Schaub, and he hasn't been up to snuff. Now, this team can't stop the run, and so if Schaub knows what it's good for him, he's just going to turn around and hand the ball off and make some short, quick passes, get his mojo back, and he won't have to worry about it because I think St. Louis is terrible at stopping the run, and so I think Houston's just going to be too much from that point of view and from the defense because the defense is pissed.
Yeah,
they're a really good defense, and they're pissed.
And who's starting at running back for St. Louis?
Yeah, it's Zach Stacy.
Zach Stacy show?
Yeah.
So I'm going to look for Houston to rebound in this game, and I'm looking for them to get the win.
As much as I'd like to see St. Louis win this game because I'm really a fan of the coach.
Yeah, I love Jeff Fisher. Who doesn't love Jeff Fisher besides Vince Young?
Yeah. And Vince might even give him another try. But I just don't. They're not there yet. They were a better team last year, it seems like, than they are this year. I'm not sure where the regression comes from there. But, give him another year. Last year they stood toe-to-toe with San Francisco and didn't lose to him. They won one and tied one. And they did the same thing to they split with Seattle. So, You know, they got potential, but they're just not playing it this year.
I really like St. Louis. I like what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball.
I
I think they're
stop
gonna
the run. I don't know what that is.
They need some help.
They need a big man in the middle, I guess.
Yes, they need some help up front. Their secondary is good because they got Cortland Finnegan there. But offensively, they really got to get a running game put together to help out Sam Bradford.
Getting rid of Steven Jackson was a big mistake, and I think that's really hurting him.
Yeah,
I thought Daryl Richardson was going to be the deal, and Steven Jackson just does too many things well.
Well, Daryl Richardson was a sixth or seventh round draft pick.
He was
one pick away
from being Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah,
and he's pretty irrelevant.
Yeah, and sometimes you strike gold later on in the draft,
he's more of a Reggie Bush style scat back, catching passes, things like that. He's not a downhill runner.
Yeah, they need that big power back there. So I'm gonna take Houston in this one.
Me too. I'm taking Houston as well.
Okay, next game up, you've got the Oakland Raiders traveling to Arrowhead to face the Kansas City Chiefs.
You know, the Raiders have been pulling some magic of their own. They beat San Diego.
Terrell Pryor.
Where'd
this kid come from?
And you know what? He was throwing passes and controlling the offense, and good for him. Good for him. You know,
he looks good. He's playing well.
I picked him up as my bye week fill-in. I was going to play Andy Dalton, but that guy's just not doing anything. And I figured I hate the matchup because I don't think they're going to do a lot. But then I looked at Fitzpatrick managed to score 20 points in Fantasyland.
Yeah.
On the Chiefs. So
he ran like a 14-yard touchdown. Where
and they didn't. And if Fitzpatrick can run for a touchdown, then Pryor he'll score me 15 or 20 points. They're not going to win the game.
I think the difference is going to be Kansas City is going to expect Terrell Pryor to run. You don't expect the Amish rifle to take off.
No, but I don't know. It's not going to be the runs that he just take. It's going to be his scrambling, and when that happens, when containment breaks, the defense isn't ready for that. And and this kid's smart enough that if they come up when he, like they do with Russell Wilson, if they come up to get him, he'll throw it over your head and hit Denarius Moore, who's streaking across the field, or Rod Streeter.
Yeah.
He can do that. He's kind of that. I think he's better than Cam Newton right now. Cam Newton's stars got a little. His shine has kind of rubbed off.
People game plan against Cam Newton, and I don't think Terrell Pryor has earned the respect of the league enough.
The kid hasn't thrown an interception since week 1.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from.
I don't think they're going to win the game, but I think it'll make it entertaining.
Yeah, I really like what Terrell Pryor's doing there in Oakland. That's a team that, man, they just need a winning season. I hate the Oakland Raiders as a Chiefs fan, but man, they've waited long enough.
Yeah,
they need to have
their cap situation is so bad. They got
Jamarcus Russell,
they got $50
and
million
Hayward
in dead
Bay.
money. People are still calling that guy. People have called him for a workout, and he's had to turn him down because he injured himself getting in shape to work out for people. So there's been a couple teams that have called him, and I think Minnesota was one. I think Buffalo was another.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs win this game. In fact, the way it's looking, I think they're gonna sweep the division with the exception of the Denver Broncos. But
and you know what? If you guys split with them,
that's a win.
My only concern is watching them roll up the Cowboys 51-48.
Well,
can you even keep up with them? Because they're going to be successful.
Well, Dallas showed that defense can be scored on. Because nobody's really scored on them.
Yeah, but can your defense score on them? That's the question.
Yeah.
Can Alex Smith get out of his conservative little bubble and take some shots? Because that's what beat him.
Well, he's got the weapons to do it.
It wasn't dink dunk to Jason Witten. It was big shots down the field.
Des Bryant. Yep.
And this Terrell Thomas guy.
Yeah.
Terrence Williams.
He's a rookie.
Yeah, Terrence Williams. He's fast as shit. See how fast he got that separation? I was like, where's this kid?
Yeah, that was one of the best games I've ever seen. I
wish we hadn't come out on the losing end of it, but you know what? I thought, wow, if the Cowboys can hang in there and really be in a position to win this game, one bad throw, whatever, that's it's a good game when it came down to one play. Mm-hmm. What are they going to do with some of these other teams if they can put 48 on and run with the Broncos? So
we'll see. But I got Kansas City beating Oakland.
Me too. Yeah.
Okay, next game up is Carolina headed to Minnesota to take on Probably Matt Castle in the Vikings.
Probably Matt Castle. Because I don't think they're gonna. I don't even think they know what they're gonna do with Josh Freeman yet. But
he ain't been there long enough to start.
yeah, and I don't think he's a better choice at this point than Castle's been in the offense the entire year and performed pretty well last week.
Yeah, he did.
I think Carolina's gonna get beat. I don't. Carolina's just one of those confusing teams. D'Angelo Williams is having a pretty good season. I think he's the 4th or 5th best running back in the NFL right now in yards. Cam Newton he's taking sacks. He's holding on to the ball too long. He's not taking off. Maybe he saw what happened to RG3 and he's just afraid that his career is going to get ended. When you play scared, it's done. It's just like being a cop. When you go out and you're wearing the uniform and you're putting the vest on extra tight and you're being careful, that's when you get shot. And when you're careful, that's when you're going to get tackled and too hard. And you just gotta play.
I love Carolina's defense. They're playing really well, but I hate their offense.
Yeah, their offense.
They're not playing anywhere near their potential. Whereas Minnesota, their defense is playing okay, but their offense is playing better than expected. I mean, it's not just the Adrian Peterson show.
Now it is, and Jennings got into the fold. Simpson's gotten into the fold.
Yeah,
and they got a couple other little side players.
Cordell Patterson.
Yeah, Cordell Patterson. They've got some special teams ability with that kid. And they're playing at home, and I think they're going to win that game.
Yep, I do too. I like Minnesota in this game.
I think this is one of those weeks where it's a lot more cut and dry than it's been. It's been a little wild ride, last week I picked Cincinnati to beat New England. I just thought they were ripe for the pick, and that defense was going to do it. And I thought Seattle was ripe. 3 games on the road. And Indy's just got that hot hand, and I just,
it's fun. I'll talk more about the Seattle game when we get to that pick. But I got a funny story behind Seattle. So we're both taking Minnesota.
Both taking Minnesota.
Okay. Next game up, you got Pittsburgh heading to New York to face the Jets. Geno Smith, boy, this kid's playing well.
Yeah, boy,
that defense is playing well too.
They were just hooting and hollering that they'd, and that game was kind of weird, but then hooting and hollering, they come back. Here comes Atlanta. They take the lead with, a minute left, and then Geno Smith just put it in their ass. Down the field, bang, 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 no timeouts. And they kicked the field goal with Dallas's former kicker. The Jets are surprising a lot of people. A very good team. They got a very good defense. And now this kid seems to be a real deal of some kind. So. Yeah. And here's Pittsburgh, coming into their bye week, licking their wounds.
Oh, man.
Roethlisberger saying we're the worst team in the NFL, and he's probably not far off. They're better than the Jaguars. I don't know that they're better than the Giants.
I'd actually like to see that game.
The Giants and the Steelers, just to see who's worse. They have not recorded an interception yet this season, that defense. So now that's not typical of a Dick LeBeau defense. So it isn't scheme. I don't know if it's necessarily age. They still got some good players. So is it heart now at this point? Is it ego? Or are people just not afraid of them? Is there no intimidation factor?
I think the issue with the Pittsburgh Steelers is they've been historically known for running the football. And when you're really good at running the football, what does that do? Chews up a lot of clock. Keeps the other offense off the field, wears the other defense out, and Pittsburgh just simply doesn't have that right now. Everything is on Roethlisberger's shoulders, and now the script is flipped, and Pittsburgh's defense is on the field most of the game, and they're just showing that they can't handle it.
And they're like last in the league in sacks. I mean, they're not getting after the quarterback, which is leading to a lot of passing yards. And you're right, they're probably tired. I don't know if it's age. I don't know if they're missing some key people.
I just think they've gotten away from the Steeler way of football.
Maybe they found it on their bye week. I don't know.
Maybe Le'Veon Bell can come back and carry the load for them because they didn't have him up until, and he played well.
The thing is, he's coming back in. He's going to play against a team that doesn't give up anything on the ground. The Jets have been shutting everybody down.
Yep.
Nobody's running that team.
I am a believer in the New York Jets now. This team has got me actually kind of excited to watch them play now.
They should have beaten the Patriots. Right, they should have beaten. They did. They should have lost to Tampa Bay, really. But you know, I mean, they've been in every game. They haven't been blown out.
Yeah.
And so what the hell? The Jets are on a roll and Pittsburgh's not.
Jets.
The Jets are at home. I'm taking the Jets.
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 Yep, I'm taking the Jets as well. So we're agreeing on every one of these games so far. So the next one is Philadelphia with the Nick Foles show heading to Tampa Bay, Florida.
Yeah, and everything tells me Tampa Bay is just falling apart. They've just come off their bye week, right? Are they coming off their bye week? That whole debacle with Josh Freeman, this coach is...
Yeah, what the hell happened there?
I think this coach is just... I think he's like a little Hitler type guy.
Do you think it's more Josh Freeman or more Schiano?
I think it's Schiano. I think it's Greg Schiano.
I kind of feel that way too because
I think he lost the locker room in the middle of last year. They had that collapse. I mean, they were...
Here's the difference between the two is Josh Freeman has proven that he could play well and that he could win there. Schiano hasn't.
Well, and that team has developed a bad habit because they gave up on the previous coach. They did give up on that season.
Yeah.
And that coach lost the locker room because he was too loose, I guess, too nice. And now this coach is too hard, and it worked for 4, 5, 6 games last season, and then it seems like he lost the locker room. And they went on a 6-game slide.
How do you bring in a guy of Darrelle Revis's caliber and immediately alienate him? Which it appears that they did. I mean, yeah, Schiano and Revis had their little powwow in Schiano's office, but I mean,
when you got to have those kind of conversations, you don't have control.
Exactly, and the defense isn't really the biggest problem right now. Your lack of identity. I mean, why isn't the muscle hamster getting the ball more? This guy, as a rookie, took off, and this year he's disappeared.
I heard something that he's given up 12 sacks. In other words, 12 sacks is coming from guys that he is supposed to be blocking. So, you know, he's a second-year guy, not the best pass protector.
Not a real big guy.
So, you know, he's not doing his chip blocking assignments or whatever. You know, they throw this Mike Glennon kid to the Wolves. They don't have any offense. That's what bothers me. I think they could win this game. And I think losing some of these close games is kind of taking the steam out of them. I don't know what they did. I haven't heard anything. I don't know what they did in their bye week. I don't know if the coach made them practice the entire time or if he gave them some time off. I don't know what would be the...
Knowing Schiano, he probably notched them up. They practiced.
Yeah, and he probably did. And you know, I don't know what Nick Foles is going to be like in this offense. I know they got a nasty defense.
Well, Kelly.
I know Jackson's talking shit about Revis can't catch him. I wouldn't fucking fire up Darrelle Revis. That's a mistake.
Well, last time that happened, Geno Smith did it, and how'd that turn out?
You know, I mean, the thing is, I've seen Deshaun Jackson disappear against way less opponents than Darrelle Revis.
Now, the thing is Chip Kelly has said that he was a fan of Nick Foles and loved the way he runs an offense, even back when he was in Arizona in college. So Chip Kelly's familiar with Nick Foles and the way that he plays the game. And, I mean, let's face it, look at the pieces around this kid. LaShawn McCoy in the running game.
Look what Tampa Bay's defense did to the Saints.
That's true.
They held them to, 17 points,
That's
I think?
True. But what do we say about interdivisional games?
Yeah,
But
Tampa Bay's defense has been doing that all season. They haven't been blown out either. I mean, they've been pretty stout. They're tough against the run. Yep. And what is Chip Kelly's a run-first offense, despite what everybody thinks. He's a run-first offense. It's all LaShawn McCoy all day long. Mm-hmm. He's not going to find room to get out. And if you shut that running game down and you turn it over to Nick Foles to beat you, and you got somebody smack-talking Darrelle Revis, I think there's a couple of picks there. I think Philadelphia's actually going to lose this game.
I'm actually picking Philadelphia to win it.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay. I think just talking crap and the combination of Nick Foles and that defense, and I think Tampa Bay is hungry enough. They're at home. Let's see what they can do. I'm going to take Tampa Bay just one time.
See, on the flip side, I think Tampa Bay's in huge disarray. I mean, Philadelphia's defense has proven to be a little leaky, but I think if the offense comes together, Nick Foles played well when he took over for Vic when he got injured. I just think Philly's going to have too much offense for them.
We'll see.
Next game up, you got Jacksonville heading to Denver. My Lord.
I don't even think we need to talk about this game. I got a bunch of Denver Broncos in my fantasy team, And I was really considering whether or not I wanted to start all three of them. I mean, I got Demaryius Thomas, Julius Thomas, and Noshawn Moreno, and I'm thinking, are they even going to play the second half? I mean,
well, here's what's funny, and I agree with you. I believe Denver is going to win this game, but the official Denver Twitter sent out a tweet that said Peyton Manning and that offense scored 51 points. That's more than the Jacksonville Jaguars have scored all season. And the Jaguars replied with, "Keep it classy, Denver." So I throw this into the mix. What believe you in karma?
Yeah, sometimes you give bulletin board material to the wrong team and they can just, like any given Sunday, right? I mean, you can have a bad game.
What if Denver goes into this game complacent? Because let's face it, Jacksonville Jaguars are a professional football team.
Yeah, but does Peyton Manning ever get complacent?
He's thrown some stinkers against some teams before. He has.
I just don't know if he's going to. I don't see it.
I don't see it either. But you have to consider the possibility.
Little pipe dreams, but I don't see it happening.
So we're both taking Denver.
Yeah,
Denver in or out. Okay. Tennessee headed to Seattle.
If this game was in Tennessee, I'd pick Tennessee. I'm not going to pick against Seattle at home. But I don't think this is going to be one of those times where they get, 40-10 on somebody like they did with San Francisco. Because Tennessee's got a real defense.
So does San Francisco.
Yeah, but they
But that was a home opener, Sunday Night Football. Crowd was going for the record.
They showed the next week that they weren't, they got blown out by Indy. I don't know.
Well, here's what the way it appears with Seattle and me. All the resident Seahawks fans around here were giving me a hard time because I picked against the Hawks just about every single week with the exception of last week. I picked them to win. What happened?
They lost.
They shit the bed.
I picked them to lose last week, and they lost.
So, if I pick Seattle to win this week, do you think they're going to lay an egg against Tennessee?
I don't see that team losing at home. Not to Tennessee.
The 12th man is in full force for Seattle. I think they're a little suspect on the road, but at home, they're nearly unbeatable.
Yeah, the makings are there because Tennessee has been putting people through their paces.
Yeah.
They put Kansas City through their paces. They put Houston through their paces. But this is a different atmosphere, and I just don't think that they're ready for it.
Yeah. So
it's not like they go there and they know what it's like, because they don't know what it's like. They're going to be fucking shocked.
So I apologize in advance, Seattle, but I'm taking your team to win.
I'm going to pick them to win too. Can't pick against that team at home.
Okay. 3 years ago, this would be an amazing game, but New Orleans headed to New England.
Yeah, it would be actually. And
this year, I think it's a blowout.
I don't see New England beating New Orleans. Just don't do it. New Orleans defense is playing really well.
And that offense
they
are back. Drew Brees, Jimmy Graham, Marquise Colston.
And Gronk's coming back, but he ain't caught a football in over a year.
Busted forearm, and the two rookie wide receivers are really hot and cold.
Well,
the running game is
the fact they lost Vince Wilfork, man. I mean,
that's huge.
165 rushing yards from Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, and Gio.
Have they done that all season?
No.
Up to this point?
No. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis looked like... Did you see that burst he had?
Finally, he turned on the burners, and he'd never had that. He was just always running...
Maybe he never thought he had him. I don't know.
Yeah, he was always running the 2 and 3
gap.
Yeah,
I think New England's
3 yards
ripe.
and a pile of dust.
I think New England's ripe to finally lose 2 games in a row.
Mm-hmm. I think Tom Brady's going to have a long day because he has no running game. And the 2 rookie wide receivers, like I said, are really hot and cold. If Gronk does come back, who knows what he's going to do. Yeah, you got Danny Amendola back, but he's hobbled up. And like you said, New Orleans' defense is much improved.
Much improved.
So I actually got New Orleans winning this game in a rout.
Yeah, I'm going to take New Orleans too.
Next game up, you got Arizona traveling to San Francisco.
Yeah.
There won't be any running games on the other side of the ball, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, Arizona doesn't really have a running game. Mendenhall's lost a wheel. He's done, that guy. And you got a rookie there, Eddington or whatever his name is. that can maybe do something, but not against San Francisco, I don't think. And I think San Francisco is back. I think whatever was bothering them before, they're going to get a heavy dose of Frank Gore. I don't know if he's going to be super effective, but he's going to be effective. So it's going to be that and Kaepernick, and it's too much, and it's Arizona's going down. They haven't been scoring points.
No, they haven't. They've been playing well defensively, but you're right. That offense just hasn't been scoring points.
And I just think San Francisco is going to put 20, 27, 30 points on them, and that's too much.
I agree. I got San Francisco on this one too. Next game, the Washington Redskins headed to Dallas on Sunday night.
Yeah. And I'm taking Dallas all the way on this one. Both defenses are pretty leaky. I don't know if Dallas's defense was leaky simply because they ran into Phillip Rivers and he was hot, and they ran into Peyton Manning and he's red hot.
He's Peyton Manning.
He's Peyton Manning. He just picks you apart. I don't think RG3 is that much of a master. They might have trouble with him if he was RG3 of last year. This Tampa defense might have trouble containing him because once you get outside of containment in a Tampa defense, the middle of the field's wide open. But Dallas has got a pretty fast defense. I wish DeMarcus Ware was healthy. He's not as healthy as he should be, and they're hurting on the left side of the defensive line too. But good linebacking core. Secondary is one of the best in the NFL. And I just think that I think RG3 is going to make too many mistakes, and Romo hasn't been making mistakes, and they haven't been fumbling the football. Romo's got 2 interceptions all year. I think last year he threw 2 in the first game. So, it cost him game, and, that always happens. Peyton Manning threw a pick in that game too. So, I just think Dallas is playing well at home. They're primed. Their offense is clicking. And I don't think that unless the Redskins have come up with some kind of magic swammy and their defense is different than it was, they're ripe. For the kind of offense that Dallas is
I agree
play.
with what Dallas showed last week against the Denver Broncos to keep pace with Peyton Manning and that offense showed a lot, and I think it showed a lot to the entire NFL. Granted, there's no defense to be found anywhere in that game from either team,
but both quarterbacks were playing lights out, hitting passes. Sometimes you can't defend those. You can't defend Dez Bryant. He's throwing it up there, 2 guys on him. Dez went up and got it. Mm-hmm. You can't defend against that. It's a perfect throw, perfect catch.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be more of the same this week offensively for Dallas, but I don't think Washington's going to be able to do anywhere near what Peyton Manning did to that Dallas defense. So I'm going to take Dallas in this game as well. So not only win, but win probably in a rout.
Yeah, I think they're going to win by double digits. Double touchdowns. 14
Sorry,
points.
Redskin fans. Hang on to that name. I know people are bitching about it. Next game up, Monday Night Football, you got the Indianapolis Colts headed to San Diego to face the Chargers.
This is actually going to be, I think, a decent game. San Diego got beat by... That's interdivisional, though, so, it's just one of those things.
It's one of those things.
This isn't interdivisional, but Indianapolis has had their way...
They beat the Seahawks.
Seahawks. And, they beat the Seahawks, and they beat them in all 3 areas. They blocked a punt. Mm-hmm. They blocked for a touchdown. They picked off, they went for big, down the field throws. They did it all, and they did it on defense, too. So San Diego has been leaky on their defense. They don't have a running game. Ryan Matthews is hurt. Ronnie Brown is 95 years old. And I don't see him getting it done against Indianapolis. And Indianapolis has been taking the ball away. They've been picking people off and forcing turnovers. And Andrew Luck has just got that. He's whatever it is.
I've said this before, and I'm pretty sure that you've said it too. This kid is defense proof. And if last week doesn't prove it, then I don't know what will. Because he looked great against that Seattle defense.
Oh, yeah. And he looked great against San Francisco. That team has run through the 2 top teams in the NFC. Mm-hmm. If you take New Orleans out of the equation, San Francisco, Seattle, two of the top defenses in the league, period. And he put 27 on 49ers, and they outran the Seahawks.
Yeah, and the Colts defense is for real. They've
weren't-
proven.
Yeah, they weren't expected to be.
Yeah, and the defense for years with Peyton Manning was always designed to play with a lead. Okay, but this defense now is designed to hit you in the mouth, force turnovers, get after the quarterback. It was just never designed
and
to be that way before.
you don't even get the Dwight Freeney, revenge game because he's out.
He's out.
And so there's no, Dwight Freeney kind of getting back at the team that let him go. That's not going to happen. So I think Phillip Rivers is going to come back down to earth. He was on a little bit of a high, but I think he got smacked in the mouth in Oakland, and he's like that Cutler. He's pouty. He's like Tom Brady. When you punch him, and he can say, "Well, now I'm really mad," but it's
his emotions
just,
take over. He's a very emotional guy.
Yeah,
he will run his mouth. But I Indy.
I'm gonna take Indy. I'm taking
Indy too. I'm taking Indy as well, and I just love watching.
Obviously, going on the road doesn't.
It doesn't affect Andrew Luck. The kid
guys.
is defense proof. He puts that gigantic ass blue mouthpiece, makes his face all contort. He looks like an idiot, but boy, can that kid play.
And he can throw. Yeah.
He can play. And oh, by the way, Jim Irsay is the most retarded owner in the NFL. I've seen some of his Twitter pics. Seriously, just Google Jim Irsay Twitter pictures, and you will laugh your ass off. This guy is the biggest idiot ever. But he knows how to put together a hell of a football team.
And he owns a football team.
Yeah, so
your
I
argument's
guess
invalid.
It is invalid. You can be an idiot all you want, or say.
So he probably has a Roomba.
Yeah, one in each room. So I'm going to post on the screen what mine and Jeff's record is up to this point. As always, guys, thanks so much for joining us. We do appreciate it. As always, we'll be on Twitter, chatting it up on Sundays, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, peace out.